What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm really excited to bring you my top carried pocket knives for the week. We're going to talk about what was in my pocket, a little bit about the knife, and give you a little bit of an update, or sometimes a little bit of a sneak preview if it's a knife that I have been carrying that I haven't yet done a review for. Let me go ahead and kick it off. Monday I went with the Monday Blues, and I carried my Benchmade Bug Out with the Flytanium Lotus scales. This one was anodized by me, really pretty blue color. I kept the stone wash that it came with from Flytanium. I did get the 20CV Blade HQ exclusive variant that has the green hardware on it. I think it gives a nice complementary pop of color to the blue on the knife. I love this for an EDC. It is just at a 4-finger grip for me. The contoured scales and the extra grips from the machining here is really nice. It's a very thin and slicey blade, so it does all the EDC tasks that you can think of: getting into your packages, breaking down a box, cutting string, zip ties, plastic ties, all of that good stuff. And I really do like the treat on this particular knife. All I've had to do is just kind of strop it. It came with a very good edge from Benchmade, but I do plan to sharpen it to get to a fresh coat of steel. Very happy with this knife, and it is a little bit special to me because the wife sponsored this one here, and she definitely knows to look for it now. She knows what it looks like as soon as I pull it out now. She's seen it so many times. But a very special knife to me, and I really think the Flytanium contoured scales with the machining here just take this knife to a whole other level. Feels really secure, and I think it just really improves the overall aesthetics. Great thin drop point, as I mentioned, very pointy out at the tip, so it'll be able to perform your puncture task, and even getting into the getting into the boxes with a pinch grip. Slicing the tape works really well with this one, and it has pretty good action. Just a hint of that play that I showed on the Shaman. Actually, yeah, there it is. It is just ever so slight. It's really hard to get it to show up, and I really have to wrench. It won't fall shut on its own, but it's smooth enough to where if you just give it a little bit of a flick, when it's not in the middle of being closed, it'll close pretty easy without much effort at all. Great knife. I love that knife. Still one of my favorite just general purpose EDC. Could totally be a one and done knife. Ever since I upgraded the Omega Springs on them too, I think we're coming up on a year here in a few months that I've had these aftermarket Omega Springs on here. They're just slightly thicker, and they've held up fantastic, knock on wood. On Tuesday, I went with a Titanium Tuesday carry, and that is going to be my Kungwu Tao. This one here is a drop point done in M390. You can see the belt satin lines here in the finish looking really good. I like that aesthetics. Nice drop point. It's a very subtle or very gradual drop point. It's not immediate or abrupt, a little more abrupt that you see on that Bug Out, but this one here not so much. But it's got a nice long section here that does really well for your push cuts. It has this machine milling here all throughout, and then it has the peel ply texture, which adds a ton of grip to an otherwise smooth flat scale. And I really do like the ergos on this. It fits really good in hand. I tend to hold it in this position here where my middle finger occupies a little bit of that finger choil, and then I have the forward finger over top of the flipper tab right here. It has a nice flat landing spot, so really comfortable. Leaves me a little bit of room back here. That works really well for me, and I really do like this knife a lot. Smooth action. It is plastic caged ceramic phosphor bond washers, and it is multi-row, so it's very smooth. The blade's a little bit lighter, so it's not a guillotine, but it drops right shut. So smooth the way that it feels too as it's dropping. They give you a little pop of color here with some Zircotai. It's really hard to get it to show on camera. A little pop of color here where the lanyard goes. It has jimping on the back spacer. My biggest complaint about this is the pocket clip. I really just don't like that pocket clip at all. It is reversible, but it just pokes in the hand, and it's really flimsy. I would have liked to just seen a milled titanium pocket clip that was reversible. I think that would have worked a lot better. Front flipping action is really good on this. I mean, it's really good. Even if you're not good with front flippers, they give you such a big landing pad here that it really would be hard not to be able to flip this. You can hold it in hand without aggressively gripping it, and because it has that texturing and milling, it's very secure and track on hand, and you just got to give it a little bit of an effort, and once that detent breaks, it flies. The flipper tab here is nice and low profile, so you do got to be mindful. You don't want to leave the finger in there like you would if you were doing a push button, because it's going to fly into the finger. You want to do a true light switch on there. Overall, just a great knife for the money. You get a lot there, and Kungwu seems to be doing really good with the quality of their product, which I really do want to see continue. I'm very excited for the Pulsar pre-order that I picked up. That should be coming next month or the month after, I think, from what I've seen from their updates. On Wednesday, I went with a Wharncliffe Wednesday carry, and that is going to be my WE Roxy 3 S35 VN Wharncliffe blade. Very nice flat grind to it, very thin behind the edge. Love the black wash with the black washed titanium handles. Nice thick handle too, so it feels very secure in hand. You have plenty to grip onto, even though it has the thinner handle. Because it is thick in diameter across, it feels really nice. You got the black wash bronzed back spacer and pocket clip with the polished bronze hardware, which looks really good. It's a nice complement to each other on this knife. You do have the drill through lanyard hole, but because it doesn't prioritize over the pocket clip, I'm fine with that. I think it'd just be a little bit cleaner without it, but honestly, with the speed holes here, I guess you could say that it does really match. Great access to the lock bar. Really smooth action. I just recently installed some skiffs. That video on how I did that will be coming out for anyone interested, especially if you want to know about the size. So make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on for that. This one here is very fidgety, and again, even though it's a small knife, I really enjoy the ergonomics. It's very comfortable to use. It handles all of my tasks, especially for those draw tip utility cuts. Really good there, and it really does fidget well. Even having larger hands, I find that my fingers land in all the right spaces. The hole is a nice size. The fuller is a great cutout. It's not overly sharp, but it's big enough for the finger, whether you want to use the nail or the meat to get in there. And then it has just enough unicorn there for that front flip, so really good with that. Just really surprising. Like, I cannot explain how surprised I am by the Roxy 3. I know some folks would like to say they wish it was a bigger knife, and I wouldn't complain if they came with a WE Roxy 4 and it was just this a little bit bigger, or maybe a WE Roxy 3 Plus. But honestly, I'm just really impressed with how much I like it. I like the looks, the function, carries well in pocket, and they did a really good job with all the hardware and the accessories, and everything on that knife came out really awesome, and it's just continued to surprise me and be one of the favorites in my collections. Thursday, I went with a thumb stud Thursday, carrying my titanium Zahn. This one here has the S45 VN hollow ground blade, milling all throughout the titanium handles. Really beautiful milling too, and it adds a layer of texture and grip, and then it has a rougher finish on it, which helps also with the confidence and grip there. Really good ergonomics. The hand lands in such good spots here on this particular knife. It's just really comfortable and feels very natural in hand to use. You have a little bit of a spoon here for the thumb, which really helps for you with the control cuts out on the tip, and then if you need to pull back, you can. If you want, you can just choke up, and then the thumb will help guide that right over the spoon for any of your push cuts. I did get the RGT titanium pocket clip that I anodized to match the back spacer that I picked up. This is made by Chris Reeves for the knife. It does come with a lanyard, but I did decide to take that off, which I did feel like improved the quality of the ergonomics for me. Comfortable thumb studs. The washer action on this is really nice. Very satisfying to slow roll and close, and of course, as it breaks in, you can, with a little bit of strength, and long as you have a little bit of a callus on your thumb, you can flick that right on out there. But I do find that I just enjoy the slow roll, deliberate action on it. It's very satisfying. great knife. Definitely a grail of mine that I'm glad that I finally saved up to get that. It took a little while to get there, but I really do love that knife, and I'm so glad I was able to add that one to the collection. Last but not least, I just threw down for Flipper Friday, wanted to bring out the ProTech Mordax button lock knife, aluminum scales. It does have that, I wouldn't say it's super powdery, but it does have like a matte finish, which really surprisingly helps it feel very comfortable in hand. And then with the scallop and the actual flipper tab, you have, if you need to, for that puncture attach, you're going to be really secure in hand. And then you have that choke up point for any of your push cuts, detailed work out on the tips. You have good pinch grip here. It's a little pokey, but it's still really good to help with the pinch grips if you're trying to get into packages. I guess a little bit with the draw cuts, but other than that, really good. Button lock has great detent to it. It doesn't want to break until it's ready to come out, and then it flies out because the detent is tuned so well. And that is me lightly flicking it, but just giving it a normal flip. Really good. The button is recessed, so you do have to deliberately land on the button to disengage if you're trying to push it. As you can see there, I'm squeezing really hard. No play whatsoever. So they did a good job with the cutout, keeping the button in there so that you're not actually accidentally hitting it when you're trying to grip the knife, which I really do like a lot. It is a little bit thicker behind the edge, and I've debated getting it reground. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that yet, because honestly, for my EDC task, it does a good job, but I do find myself sometimes wanting it to be a little bit thinner so that as I have it a little longer, as I need to sharpen it for whatever reason through use, because I do use this a lot, I want that edge to stay as thin as possible so that it goes through the materials very easily. So I might do a regrind. And if anyone has recommendations, leave that down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. I do have the ceramic skiff bearings in the pivot. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's such tight tolerances on these knives. I don't think there's an angle in here that lets you really see them good. But really happy with the skiffs, and it is a guillotine because you let go of the lock. I'm so used to letting go of the lock instead of just kind of really good action. Love this knife. Of course, it is a little bit bigger than the Malibu, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to get that one. But let me know what you've been enjoying here recently, what you've been carrying here over the last few weeks. Anything that you got coming in that you're excited about. I got a couple of pre-orders that are finally going to come in that I'm excited about, and I was able to get the Monster Mash from Devo Knives, so I'm excited for that one to come in. It'll probably take a week or two for them to get all the orders checked and shipped, but I love to hear that stuff. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave that like for me. I appreciate the support. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate and love to have you follow along. Thanks to everyone out there that is regularly leaving the likes, comments, and is already subscribed. Don't forget to turn that notification bell to all. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.